Hello and greetings to you, viewer from across the tubes. I am Gnarly Quack, although my friends and enemies typically call me Carl, sometimes, but not always, or most of the time, I should say, not sometimes. But I am back today, and much to the surprise of everybody, I'm going to be working on Dr. Strangetest, my testing framework for PHP. So let's get into the code here. I think everything's a clean state right now, if I'm not mistaken. And I had, what have I been doing, I guess? I guess I've been, oh, that's right. I've been, I missed yesterday, or was going to do some other stuff yesterday, so I decided to skip streaming. But of course, I accomplished nothing, none of the things that I was going to do. So there you go. But so since I still do have those things I need to get done today, I don't know how long of a stream this will end up being, but I did want to get some coding in under my belt. And I had been working on sort of just refactoring and changing how we handle some of the test information that we're holding on to for when we go through and actually execute a test suite. So the payoff of that is I should be able to go back into the discovery module now and sort of simplify and streamline all of that. And I guess I'm going to do a little bit more of that work today. I think I left off with a to-do. This is going to be here to remove this run ID number. And so I think I may just start off there. Yeah, and I'm just sort of taking a look at the work here because I'm may end up, depending on what I end up doing, I may end up just kind of squishing or cleaning up this commit history and then merging this into trunk. But I guess I'll just start off right here by nuking that and seeing what breaks. All right, so I guess we can just go in order here. Oop. Well, I suppose I should mix up my files with the line numbers there. So I guess that. And actually, we probably don't need this next run ID number then, if we're not even dealing with run IDs. All right. Get the sneezing out of the way, I guess. Just make sure I unmuted. Hopefully I was muted for all of that. That second sneeze was kind of trolling me a little bit there. So let's just do that. Well, I guess maybe come back to that. So let's just save all of that and then sort out all the stuff that's going to break now with run instance. All right. So this path, I feel like we'll get rid of this list of names. We'll put this and we'll make that the path. Oh, we want. Oh, I guess I deleted that. So we want. I guess we'll take this group ID number. It doesn't really matter. So we got the parent, the group ID, the path, which will be the string of names, and then just a hash and the qualifier. So let me just see what we're doing here. If parent, then we'll grab parent. We'll grab the path, otherwise that. We'll just stick the name on there. Oh no, this is going to go to path actually. And that's going to go to path. Okay, so that should sort out the constructor there anyway. So what is the problem here? Yeah, path 274. That's going to go to path 303. And actually, I can just go to that. 318. I think that's probably it there. Okay. I have a feeling this is all just going to be deleting that stuff out of there. Five 568. This is in test files 848. Actually, did I save that last one? 852. Oh, I just fixed that. 852. So that might be it. Okay. Easy enough, I guess. So I guess we'll just commit that. Let's take a look at those changes real quick. So that's nice, I guess. Oh yeah, so the other thing I guess I was thinking about is not was not passing in or creating a sort of a dummy run instance here for like the top level, like not creating an implicit top level run and a top level group. So what's somewhat annoying about this, right, is then for every place we pass this now, that would be an optional run instance. So all of this would unfortunately become like an if check. Which is not ideal. I know, I just feel like, so one of the issues, right, is is we're also creating that implicit top level group. And so there's so because we have an implicit top level group, which is 0, but then when we're saving these run names, we're basically stripping out the empty string because we don't want that to show up as part of the path. We have this, I don't know what you want to call it, misalignment between like a run path or the list of run names and then the group path, which is leading to some finicky debugging the last time I worked with it. And I just was thinking, well, maybe we can just not have this implicit top level run or in group. And I'm just trying to think if there's maybe something I can do with the name here. I don't know. But so like, and in the other place, I think this would have an impact really, besides trying to, oh, my coffee maker just beeped. So I may actually go top off my coffee real quick. So there's like kind of two things that are a little bit annoying. First, it's like knowing whether we need to tack on like a run qualifier to a test name, which if we don't have any user declared runs, test runs, then we don't. So we just kind of define this implicit top level run where the qualifier is just the empty string. But then the other thing is where down here, I think, when we're recording the test result, right, in order to sort of get this dependency stuff working correctly, when we record a test result, we actually walk up the run hierarchy and save that result, or save whether or not it passed everywhere that well, we just walk up the run hierarchy and save the result of the test. So right now, the fact that we have an implicitly created top level run means we can just do that naturally. Otherwise, we would have to make the top level special case. So I'm just wondering, maybe, I don't know, if there's a cleaner way to handle this name situation or this path situation. I don't really know. And I have commented, actually, here what's going on. And I suppose I could also maybe wrap this up into, although this is the only place we're doing this, I think, but we could also potentially wrap that up into the run instance. I don't know. Without really a clear objective there. That's not what I wanted to do. It seems like it's just sort of fiddling around with stuff without much benefit. All right, so I know I just started here, but I'm actually going to take a break for a few minutes. And I guess I can think about this for a little bit. But I'm going to go top off my coffee and the like. So, Yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I am back. So I guess I guess one of the things that occurs to me is I am pretty much coming to the end of this project, I think. And in fact, I think I may. I don't know, it's one of those things where I could probably fiddle around with this for quite a bit. There's a couple things I know I want to do, a couple small features, a couple maybe small refactorings. Well, I don't know if they'll be small or not, but like I want to go through and pull out reflection or use of reflection after going through all the work to put it in. Um, and then I don't know. There's the test suite itself is a bit of a mess, and I feel like I could spend quite a bit of time just kind of going through there and polishing that up. But I'm not feeling super motivated because the reality is I'm nobody's really using this. And so I feel a little bit less motivated to go polish up the test suite. Um, but the extent to what I do that, I may do that off stream too. Um, but I guess the point is, I guess I feel like I just kind of want to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess I feel like I just kind of want to chug through the last set of features and just kind of call it done, and maybe spend the rest of September, which there isn't much of it left anymore. But maybe move on to another project. I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking. And hey, Schoolie, how are you? Well, I guess we talked earlier, but yeah, I mean it'll be up there. It's open source, and it'll be up there. So if somebody finds it, it's free for them to use. So what did I just do here? I do have a few notes about stuff I want to do. Most of that is kind of simple stuff, but I might as well just do it. Right, so we're clear here. All right, so one thing I want to do is I think I know how to. So I have this debug flag here, and based on whether we set this debug flag or not, we either get. Oops, I should set the verbose. We either get sort of minimal, nice and clean messages here, or if I set the debug flag, then it gives us the full stack trace. Which this is desirable because assuming no bugs in the framework or no errors in the framework, you can see the difference, right? This is all stuff that's happening in the framework and is totally inconsequential to whatever's happening in the test. So, but right now with the way this is written, there's basically a switch, and let's just get in there. So we save off this debug value, and then based on whatever that is, now when we do all the failure, we basically convert an exception to a failure event or whatever we're doing with the exception. There's this test, and if debug is set, then we just basically pass through the exception unchanged. Otherwise, we do this formatting. And I don't really like having this conditional, and I was going to set a define a runtime constant, and based on that, just conditionally define this format exception function, because we can still do, even if we're not omitting anything from the stack trace, we could still do some stuff like filter out this full path name, because everything's going to be relative to the project directory. But instead of actually setting, non-conditionally setting that debug flag, I think, and there's actually no, I should say there's no reason what I wanted to do wouldn't work, but it would fail. It's failing static analysis, which I don't really want to have to deal with, working around the static analyzer. So I think what I can do instead is we're going to want to parse our options first, and then what we'll do is if options debug, then what we'll do is we'll define this constant. It doesn't really matter what we define it to be. So we no longer need to pass that in. So I think the only place we're now using that is here, where we're actually parsing it out. Yeah, no worries, Schoolie. Appreciate the lurk. As always, if you have any questions about anything, just feel free to jump into chat too, even if it's not specific to what I'm working on. So here in log, where we have, what is it, format exception, what we'll do now is I think we can do just this check for defined. And then we can define an alternate version. Otherwise, and actually this would be in the else clause here. So what we'll do here is, well, let's just yank this right now. And I actually have this all written out. So I guess we'll just do that for now. Because there's no sense mucking through trying to change this if this is not going to work for some reason. And because I'm hitting keys, I'm failing to indent this the way I want to. All right, so that's actually going to break a lot of stuff because we're no longer passing in debug to the logger. So I guess I might as well just fix that. Oh, because I did not save all my files, which I love to do. And then what do we have? The log buffer needs this too. Or no longer needs it. Right. So now we no longer need to see if we're debugging. We can just call that function and have that conditionally defined based on whatever it is we're doing. And that, I think, will be much nicer. Now, this is going to cause a bunch of errors in my tests. But I guess what I can do is, just to sort of test this out, is yes. So that appears to be working. So this is all going to be the same thing. So we'll calculate this offset. This, what are we doing here? What we're going to want to do is this. We'll just set that now, but we'll filter out the beginning of the root path there. We are no longer going to exclude anything. And the only thing I think we're going to skip here is if there's no file. And I guess we can actually hang on to that. I guess we don't, I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's just comment that out. This is all going to go away. So we just build up the callee name. Then we create the backtrace string and add it to the array. This will never be the case. And we just return the result. Yeah. That is what we want. Right, and I guess we don't even have to worry about this because that weird main thing on the end has no file. So we'll take that out. Uh, well, I guess for I guess we can keep that first sentence in there too. Okay. So now we can turn off debug mode. And that is quite nice. That I'm very happy with. So where do we have near the logger? One, two, three, four, and then we have what, a log buffer. 2. 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we're in discover directory. Guess that's it. And then we've got log buffer. Guess that's it there. Wait, it's crazy to me how quickly this goes, to be honest with you. Right, if I do the full thing, oh. What's wrong here? Oh yeah, somewhere I deleted my assertion that line exists. Okay. $30. I guess what we'll do is we'll just search for this logger. Guess that's it there. Hey, hey, Kavik Andy. I don't know if I'm saying that right. How are you? No. All right, 24 here. Actually, I guess we'll search for logger. And then we have log buffer. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm working on a test framework for PHP. Are you a PHP programmer or a programmer in general? This is actually the test framework. If you're familiar with test frameworks, this is actually the test framework running on itself right here on the right, in my right window. So I refactored something and broke a bunch of stuff, so I'm getting all these errors, and right now I'm just going through and cleaning up the errors. Actually, So you do you're am I understanding you correctly? You're back in school, but you previously have a computer science degree. Nice, nice. Have you been doing any programming like professionally then, or what are you going back to school for? Just giving up on programming? I actually used to program professionally and then got out of it for a while, but I'm looking to get back into it. But I've kind of been coding, even though I haven't been in the industry, so I'm hoping to not have to go back to school. So what I just got done adding is so one of the things the framework does is it sort of selectively omits some of the things it displays. So here I have two skip tests, um, but it doesn't actually tell me what those tests are. It just indicates that those tests have been skipped. And the reason for that is right every time I run this framework, these tests are going to be skipped. So I don't want to see that output sort of cluttering my results all the time. But if I run this in verbose mode, then it will show me the tests that were skipped, and it tells me basically this is the function or the method that was skipped, and it tells me the file and the line that was skipped. And by default, the framework also does some formatting on this, so it just shows you where in your tests things have gone. Well, nothing's gone wrong here, but where things are happening. But then what I just did is I added a debug flag, and my head's probably hiding it, but that's the command there. And so now what it does is it doesn't actually filter out any. This is basically a stack trace, an exception in the stack trace. So now it doesn't filter out any of the stack trace. So, and it's more of a debug flag because normally nothing should be failing in the framework itself. So that's usually unnecessary information. But if I broke something and something's failing, then I need to see the entire stack trace. So I just kind of changed how I handled that. And hello, sorry, I'm gonna probably butcher your username too, but Sukantine, hello. Oh, with a skull too. So I guess yeah, yeah. Well, I am in Linux, but I'm programming on Linux, but it's just like I've used PHP unit and stuff in the past, and these are just things I would like to have in my own framework. So it's one of the reasons I started writing it. And hey, Bazin, welcome back. How you doing? So what I specifically did was, so down here where I parse out the command line options, I created this debug option, and what I changed in handling it is here in our main function. If debug is set to true, I just define in PHP, you can define constants at runtime. So I define that constant, and then I conditionally define what constant is or what function is defined. Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Enjoying the last days of September here. Well, if you're feeling sick, then yeah, well, I haven't been using NeoVim for all that long. And I know you can like shortcut a lot of the stuff, but I don't know what everything shortcuts to. But I'll try and remember that. Yeah, I know, I know. Well, that's the whole point of using it, right? To learn the ins and outs and become more efficient. So I need to be better about learning more of the commands. Yeah, I'm probably going to be wrapping up this project hopefully fairly soon. Give it Kivik ND, and then I think I'll probably move on to something in C++, just because that's of the languages that I know and that I would like to know better. I feel like that's the weakest I'm at. Although I'd much prefer programming in C than C++, but I feel like C++ is a language is a language worth getting better at, even if I would prefer not to use it as much. Yeah, I purposely turned off line numbers just um, because I thought searching, just using search to yeah. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the best things to do, but I usually prefer to just what I need to learn is marks, studying marks so I can jump easily between marks, and that's something I haven't done. So I'm sure you'll start getting annoyed at me when I'm not using marks. But I figure with marks and searching, I don't actually need to see the line numbers, but I could be wrong. So I think all I did there was yeah. So I'm gonna add this. Oh, do I? I don't have my activity up, so I don't know how many people are watching or what's going on. Oh, well, thank you for the follow, Sukantian. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, true. So I actually do understand what you two are saying, but if you could please keep the English, I would appreciate it. But I guess that means you must also be German, Sukantian. He's asking him how he got his name, and I think he's saying it's because he once stole a broomstick. That's my high school German coming into use. Right, is that what I said? A broomstick? Okay, so I got rid of that note. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're Norwegian? Okay. So does your name mean anything? Oh, okay. So the other thing I wanted to do was maybe I removed this test to pass for PHP 8.2, which is about to come out. But I actually have this test in here because of PHP silliness. So right here. And so I feel like I may want to keep this test in here. Where apparently in PHP 7.2 they fixed accessing integer object properties after you cast them to an array. And that is what that test was passing, because I am supporting PHP versions before 7.2. Oh, hey, Ted, welcome back. I'm doing okay. How are you? Oh, living creature. Okay. You might have been my first chatter, Bazin. And I usually don't have this many people chatting with me. This might be a new record. Usually it's pretty quiet. I stream often these days, but not necessarily regularly. So I should probably get on a better schedule. I think I've got another person that lurks, which I appreciate. But you're sort of the person that hangs out with me in chat the most so far, Faison. But I don't know, if I wrap up this project and move on to a language more people care about, maybe that'll change. But again, I'm doing it less for the viewers, not that I don't want viewers or anything, and just kind of more for myself to learn and stuff, and just get more confident with my coding. So the short of this is, I think I want to add in back this this stupid test, but the whole point was to deal with PHP kind of silliness. So what I want to do is, but I think in order to get this to pass under PHP 8.2, this is going to have to extend from standard class. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still a popular web language, I feel like, at least on the server side. But I know it's not. People like to diss on it. Not that I have really strong opinions. I'm just. It's just a language I kind of first started using, and I've had this project sitting around, so I figured it would be a good project to just start streaming in. But if you believe this website, it's still used by 77% of all the websites. So take that number for it, for what you will. But I don't know. I'm neither a PHP hater nor a lover, I guess. So it's just a language I know. Okay, so what was my test here? I think it was test formats integer properties. So this is going to go to Oof. Well, there is actually a PHP debugger, which is not, which is not, it's not awesome, but it's there and it ships with the language. But I don't envy you that task, Kvekinde. Yeah, that's true, Ted. And also, if you get people chatting with you, you get less done too. Whereas with gaming, you're not really. I mean, you're playing the game obviously, but you're not. You're just kind of having fun. Whereas, not that programming isn't fun either, but it requires a lot more like focus and concentration. So when you're talking to people, well, I don't use. I've never used Xdebug. I use PHP debug, which just ships with the language, and is not a great tool to use. But I at least was able to get it up and running. I had somebody pop into my chat when I first started asking, asking if I've used Xdebug because they couldn't figure. They spent a week, I guess, trying to get it set up, and they couldn't figure out how to get it set up. And I'm like, that's exactly why I'm not using Xdebug. Because I think because I'm on Linux, this is bundled separately, but basically you just install it and it runs. So it's at least running. Whether you can figure out how to use it or not, it's different. But that's progress over Xdebug, in my opinion. Okay, so this is passing. So I guess I'll just push this up. Let me just make sure what I have up there. And I'm going to go private again just to make sure I'm logged into the repository here. Well, I thought like you had to I thought it was sort of set up for like a client server architect. I mean, it's been a while since I've looked at it, so I've never used it, so I'm definitely not an expert. But I thought it was kind of more set up for like a client server architecture, so you had to like start the Xdebug server running, and then in order to just do like command line debugging, you had to install some sort of like command line client that connected to the server, and it's like I just want to feed my script into the debugger and see what's going on. All right, so sweet. That's my recollection of it, but like I said, not actually having used it, I could be wrong about that. Okay, so that is that. Oh, wait. Well, that was silly of me. Wait, what did I do? Oh, well. This is what happens when you get distracted. I didn't actually commit that change. Oh, and I was also going to just make a note that that was to test. All right, well, I'll just do that for now. I know that passes. Where is I guess how we'll see if I can get this link. No. So I guess we can even maybe make this a backwards compatibility note. All right, now let's see if this works. Huh. Sorry, I have an interview with a potential, or an email talking about an interview for a potential job opportunity. So this is what we care about here. You can do it. Sweet. All right. No, they didn't. I just happened to go to a job fair last week, and I mean, it was just kind of more. I hadn't really been looking, but it's like I need to start looking, and I had this email for this job fair, so I just kind of went. And one of the companies I ended up talking to, I guess, is interested in me, but they're like, I have an interview with the recruiter, and they're like, well, we can expedite this process if you talk to somebody else and you're free on another day. And I'm like, whoa, expedite the process? Like, we barely know each other. But anyway, no worry, Bazin. Thanks for stopping in, and have a good night. And I guess if you're back to school, you're feeling better, but keep working on feeling better. So we'll see what happens. But which would be kind of amazing if this ended up working out, because it's like I barely started looking, which I know is I was getting ready to like spend 6 months or longer looking for a job, but knock on knock on wood, I guess, as they say. Yeah, and part of it too. I don't know. Yeah, thank you, thank you. I mean, part of it too is it just sounds like a really good company. So, and at this point, I'm just kind of looking to get my foot back in the door. So even if I don't end up staying there, uh, it's worth it. But if it's a good company, at least for me, it almost matters more what how the quality of the company than maybe the specific work. I mean, obviously there's different types of programming, but I just kind of like solving problems, right? So if it's a good company, then yeah. Finding a good company is probably its weight in gold, to be honest with you. All right. So I'm a little bit distracted, but oh, okay. Yeah, well that sounds Quebec Andy, that sounds like a couple of good degrees to have these days. Okay, so what I think I'll do is I think I'll just screw around with Git for a little bit because I have like this working branch, and I think I may just kind of squish some of this stuff down. So what I'm interested in is from here to here, but just in the source directory. And I suppose actually, let's just go to, let's just do that. Actually, where did I get rid of, where's main here? Well, I guess you could say I'm still getting used to it too. There's a chatter in here earlier giving me a hard time about how I'm not using Vim to its full capabilities, which I can't really argue. But it's like one of those things where I got just comfortable enough where it's like, okay, I know it now, and stop learning it, and I just kind of need to push myself to keep learning it because I mean the whole point of using an editor like that is to really learn it, and then theoretically, I guess you can become a much more efficient editor. I guess a much more efficient editor of text. You know what? Screw it. I'm not messing around with these Git commits. Yeah. Well, I made a joke earlier. Once you learn how to quit Vim, it's all downhill from there. It's all easy from there. So I'm just gonna check out trunk. Oh no, not trunk. Runs. So I think we just have trunk up there now, and I just have basically these two branches. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, one of the reasons I decided to use it, and maybe it's not such a great reason, was I also, well, I'm a Linux nerd and I like using the terminal, so you can't really be a nerd, I guess, if you're not using Vim or Emacs. So that's one reason. But the other is I kind of just wanted like a stable programming environment, regardless of like which language I'm using, or maybe even what computer I'm using. Although I'm not usually SSH'd into a remote server these days, but I just wanted to have something where, regardless of what context I'm in, it's a tool I'm familiar with, and I could just use it. Because that would be the same way where I'd like use my text editor, and then I'd be SSH'd into some server, and I'd be trying to use Vim, and like, right, I knew how to quit and how to get into insert mode, and that was about it. So those are kind of my reasons too. I'm gonna have a bite of banana here. So I think one of the things I want to do is, even though like literally my first streams were coming into a discovery here and using reflection to sort of assist with the discovery process, and then hanging on to these different reflection classes once we've parsed out all the tests that we want to discover. I think what I want to do now is actually remove most of that. Because throughout the module here where we're actually running the tests, I have just a ton of assertions, because reflection, when it gets a file name or a line number, may return false if it's like a core or an internal function or file, and it's like, well, I know this is not the case because the framework is itself manually parsing and discovering these identifiers. So I think I'm just going to define some classes or some structures, as I like to call them, to just hold that information, and then we can just get rid of all of these assertions, because we know we've already discovered all this stuff ourselves manually. So I think that's what I might want to work on. And actually, it's already almost 3 o'clock. I wonder if I actually want to get started on this now, because I do have an engagement a little bit later this evening, and I probably should get this email answered too. Oh yeah, no, I didn't take it that way. And I'm not trying to convert you either, Ted. Like, if you have an IDE you're happy with, then keep using it. I'm not a bike shedder like that, I guess. Right, at the end of the day, the computer is supposed to be, yeah. True, yeah. But at the end of the day, the computer is supposed to be a tool for us, and whatever makes you most productive, then that's what I'm in favor of. So, how do I want to do this? Maybe I can do this with so we have maybe I can just do something simple with this, where like I try this out on a class object. Because the other really annoying thing here is with these reflection functions, right? I have this, well, this is still in discovery. Right, at some point we, oh, get closure. That's why, okay. We have to get it like a callable off either the method or the function that we're passing around. And again, like, reflection may pass back false if it's something it can actually, I guess, make callable. Which again, since we manually discovered this, like there's no reason this stuff should not be callable. Also, with functions, we can do this once right when we discover it. But the one kind of tricky, maybe it's not tricky, but with a method, right, we can't actually make it callable off of that until we get an object instance. And we don't have that until we actually come through here and run the class. So once we, because if we find a test as a class, we basically just instantiate it at the beginning, run all the methods on it, and then clean that up. So we have to wait until we get an instance of that class before we can actually call any of these methods. But then they, right, I think they all then call into like a common function. Well, this calls into run setup. Well, anyway, the point is I think I can streamline a lot of this stuff. But sorting out the differences and the similarities between methods and functions, I think, is going to be a little bit trickier. Whereas class, I think, will be kind of dead simple. So what I'm going to do, I think, just to start, and this may be just what I end up wrapping up with today, because as it turns out, I have some other things I have to take care of, but I'm going to just call this class info. And I'm just going to leave this empty for now. And just change this to a class info object. And the reason for not putting any properties on there at the moment is so I can see everything that breaks and then sort of keep track of what actual information we need in there. Because there's also an ability, I need the ability more or less, right? I need to get the file name, the line number that it's defined in, and then also the class name. But there are also, I think, some instances where I just want the class, like the base class name, and not the fully qualified class name with the namespace and everything on there. But maybe not. So I just want to create right now this sort of class, and then we'll fill that in as we sort it out, I guess is what I'm saying. And I guess we'll start here in Discover. Okay, I'm gonna start listening to that other person and try using shortcuts. So I guess what we're gonna do here, where do we use this reflected class set? Oh, but then we use it. So I guess what we'll do is we'll do a new class info. We won't unset reflected class. So 5, let's just work backwards here. $5.20, 507, 493, 480, 471. Wait, what did I have there? Okay. Okay. So we need a name. What was it, reflection class? And I believe the name is like the fully qualified name. So let's just pull that up on, I guess we can just do that here. Okay. Oops. Oh, you mean using eval.org or? Oh, yeah, I guess technically I have the name already. Oh, yeah, well, I just wanted to test because I'm using this throughout the framework and I'm trying to replace that. So I'm just making sure what this property returns. So I just wanted to test that so that when I replace this in the framework here, I'm returning the same thing. And I don't know if you're familiar with this website, but this is a really dope website if you're working on multiple versions of PHP, because you can, by default, test supported ones, but this goes all the way back to 4.3. Not that I'm using PHP that old, but it's kind of cool. Oh, I guess I need to save all my files. And I guess, so here's the thing, right? Okay, what are we using this reflected class for? Oh, well, I also like just throwing something in there if I don't want to fire. Like, I guess it's not actually any quicker, but if I don't want to like write my own, like if I'm just doing something stupid instead of just throwing it in a file and running PHP on it, I'll just go to that website and type it in there. But honestly, that's probably not actually any quicker. Okay, so instead of passing in this reflection class, we're going to do yeah. So I guess I'm going to do class. Actually, let's just call this class info equals class info. Test name. So right, we have this stuff I think already. Oh, or do we? Probably not. But this is okay. So at the moment, this is not actually going to help things out too much. But some of the other changes that I'm made means I can just do this all up here in line. And I guess, you know what? Oh, I'm not going to worry about it now. I'm not going to worry about it now. Let's just get this working. So we're going to pass in this class info. And then we're going to pass in the get methods here. Well, I didn't mean to delete that, but okay. And then we're going to do and this is going to go to info, and then this is going to be an array of methods. I feel like I did not need to type. Oh, I guess I did need to type hint that. And this is going to be what, a reflection method array. Okay, so we don't. This is just going to go to info. Go to methods as method. So let's see what that does. Oh, I guess I'm going to need to put. I think I have some parsing bugs in there. Okay. Do you see what a pain in the butt this is? This is why I'm trying to get rid of reflection. All right, 404. So we're gonna have to sign this. Ugh. What are you talking about? Yeah, no doubt. This is my first time really using it. Oh, and it's not making me happy. It's making me a little grumpy. Cannot access. Where am I accessing? File. Oh, that's what I was worried about. I'll be so happy when I can just get rid of all this crap. Okay. Where else am I using this? Okay, don't need. Bye-bye, to do. Don't need you anymore. What are you talking about? Oh, line. Yes. Okay, and that should clean all that up. Do I have any more? Yes. Where else do I have in here? Yep, here. Any other to-dos in here? So I guess that cleans that up. So now I think as a result of this though, I'm gonna have to put back in my instantiate function thing. So this is gonna be file line, and I guess actually I can just get rid of all that. Okay, so where did I... Clamp the reference checker. This is way back here. I think maybe in here. Test files, test directories. Not there. Actually, can I just do a stat on that? Huh. It was in there. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go. What is this? Unpack. Here. So where are my unpack functions? This is what I'm looking for. Unpack construct. Okay. So that's in there, and then 5.5 had this. So that should take care of that, but we're still going to have a bug here and run. Oops. Oh, what, 5.5? And then, actually, do I have that in a namespace? That wasn't Strangetest. So that's in, what I call this now? Unpack construct. Actually, I guess I need to update, that to be a class string. All right, so now what are you unhappy about? Oh, it's not underscored, that's right. Yeah, no worries, Ted. Thanks for stopping in. Nice talking to you again. I'm probably going to be wrapping up soon myself, actually, but yeah, thanks for stopping in. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ooh. Oh yeah, this is gonna blow up all my tests, isn't it, as I start to do this. So what do we have here? Test does not find the conditionally. Hmm. So I guess this is going to be here in 184. And we gotta go to make test. Okay, so I think we can take out this group stuff. What is going on here? I totally. All right. You know what I think I might do too? Because I have a note, and it seems kind of dumb, but I think I may just do it. I think I may eliminate all the constructors from my event types. I think I'm going to do it. I am going to push that up though, just to make sure that works. What did I call it? Oh. Let me just make sure that worked out. Looks like it. So that's good. All right, let me go throw my banana. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a short bathroom break, and I'll wrap this up, and then I'll probably call it a stream. So I guess I give myself about 6 minutes. Hopefully, it won't take that long, but all right. Okay, I think I'm back now. Yeah, looks like it. 5:48. 5:48. Or what did I do down here? Um, Somehow I totally screwed up. Guess I better save that and just see what I missed. $493. Boy, I just don't want to spell that R small case, do I? Where was I? Guess 493 or so. It's like ingrained in me now. What is going on here? I think I'm there. 422. That's going to be... Oh, 9. $90, $235. Did I delete a... I guess I did not. And 172. Boy. See what that has to say about anything. There. What was that? Oh. All right. uh, 536. Make sure I got that right. Looks like it. And then I think 408 is the last one here. There's no way I typed that all incorrectly, I feel like. Yep. Oops. I keep forgetting to go back to the other window. Yeah, it's give me 1 second here. So, PHP, I can't remember if you use PHP or not, to be honest with you, but so PHP has namespacing, which, if you know namespacing, right, it basically, every name that you define in here implicitly has that namespace prepended to it, so it prevents name conflicts with other projects, basically, as long as everybody has their own namespace. But PHP didn't have that originally. It added it after the fact, back in 5.3. And the way they did that, um, yeah, basically it's so the way namespacing works in PHP is any class name. Uh, Basically, it looks for that class name in the current namespace, and if it can't find it, it just fails. But anything else, like a function, it first looks for it in the current namespace, and if it can't find it, it then falls back to the global namespace and then looks for it. And so basically, it's just a way to explicitly qualify all my function names. And also part of the reason it looks like that is I am supporting a fairly old version of PHP, because you can also import names into the namespace. But originally you can only import class names. And that would just look like use other namespace class name. So now down here I could just say, class equals new class name. And it would resolve that to this class name in another namespace, but you could only use that for class names. So they also have use function. Actually, namespace is probably not a legit. But they did not add add this ability till like PHP 5.4 or 5.5. So before then, your only option was to specifically fully qualify all your function names. And for the same reason, right, this means a function in the global namespace, but for the same reason you often see me type blah equals namespace foobar. And that's to specifically say this is a function in my own namespace. And namespace implicitly adds whatever the current namespace is. So the short answer is PHP goofiness, and probably why people hate the language. But that's the long, detailed answer. Like if you're familiar with C, this is kind of the equivalent of doing like that for everything. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. It's also another complaint PHP gets that is they use the backslash for its namespace separator. So, like, that in PHP would be the same as, like, in a lot of other languages. Yeah. Yeah, of course, no problem. Thanks for the question. Oh, yeah, that's right. I had bad syntax in here, didn't I? Well, I screwed that up. Yeah. Some of that might have been, it's been so long, and honestly, I kind of don't care anymore. It's like whatever you pick. It's not worth getting into a fight about, in my opinion. But I can't remember why they originally picked that. For all I know, it could have been like a parse issue. Oops, what did I do here? But also back in those days, PHP 5 was still pretty early days for PHP, I guess is the best way to put it. Oops. Yeah, true. Well, I mean, it's kind of funny, I guess, because, like in the PHP Reddit subgroup, right, they have an RFC process for people to add new features to the language and stuff, and people are always complaining about um, the syntax. And I'm not saying syntax is completely unimportant, but it's like if we're living with this for namespaces, then we've already crossed that bridge. Like the syntax debate has long been lost, and also it's kind of well, period is a concatenation. So in PHP, if you have two strings, the way to concatenate those is the period. Then as a result, to like dereference methods, you got to use this arrow stuff. Whereas like in Python, actually in Python, was it just plus? A lot of languages override the plus operator, to concatenate strings, but then you can access properties just with a dot, which is a lot easier than this arrow stuff, but then again, PHP also did not begin out as a programming language. It was literally just a set of scripts somebody had written to basically interface with like C functions, so they could like add a little bit of dynamic capability to their web pages. And then for some reason that got popular, and it's evolved into like basically a full, a mature programming language. Yeah. Yeah, it's not that it's unfamiliar, it's just, right, there's a reason for that in C++, because although even that annoys a lot of people that you have to distinguish between doing that for a pointer versus something that's not a pointer. But right, PHP doesn't have that, so it just feels like a lot of extra typing for me. But I could just be complaining too. Wow, that's not what I expected to happen. Stop that. Okay. How did this get so squished? Like something horrible went wrong there. I feel like I should just do that this time. I really don't know what that's doing, but okay. Oh, we do need actually, okay. Hello, Yoshi. I think it's just because it was already so far indented, it just tried to keep the indentation. But I think that's all the typing. But I obviously messed something up. So I wonder what I messed up. Good question. So that went from an air event to an air event. That should be fine. It should be fine. That should also be fine. Should be fine. It was probably a dumb change to make, but source reason. That looks okay. source reason, file line, right? Those are both errors. Output, source output file line, output source output file line. Pass event source file line, error event source reason file line. Although I did actually change my message in one case. Error event, error event. Error event. Error event. Source reason. Okay, so I don't know. Nothing seems obviously wrong. So I did something in targets. What was... Error event, source reason file line. Right, arg. 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 Oh, that's a problem. Source reason, source reason, source reason. Source reason. Source reason 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Maybe that's it. Nope. So where are these failing now? Oh, I know what these are, I think. One. Well, that didn't fix that one. I guess that one wasn't actually broken. Uh, oops, that's message. That might fix that one. Yep, that fixes that one. That one. Fix that one. I guess I wasn't actually failing though. Uh, okay, well. I have a feeling this is going to be really annoying. What's my error? Failed, failed. Still have an error. What's my other error? Reason? Oh yeah, this is output. Okay. Oops. Yeah, this is this is where it's gonna get really annoying. Yeah, I was taking them out because I thought it would just make things a little bit cleaner, but it's obviously not. So I may just I may just stop screwing around here and revert all this. In fact, I think this just convinced me to do it. So I've kind of just wasted the last half an hour, but you never know until you try, I guess. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go throw out my banana peel. I think they got added relatively recently. I don't even know what to call them. Named parameters, named arguments. Oh, PHP 8 introduced them. But as you can see, I'm going all the way back to 5.3. And I guess what my thinking was, I don't know, just it would prevent sort of long lines like that. It kind of makes it explicit what you're setting. And this is all the function is doing anyway, so it would just remove the overhead of a function call, but it's just kind of turning into an annoying change. But it's also because, right, it'd probably be less annoying if I had to do that initially, but maybe not. Because it's having to go back through and like type everything, retype everything. That's just kind of a pain in the butt. I probably should have just done this change off stream. And there's like a bunch of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I could probably inline in a lot of these error messages and stuff. I should probably just pull those out into constants anyway, because these could be like internationalized. And that's why a lot of stuff I'm moving from. If you, I don't know how closely you've been watching me, but I went uh, from this where I was just inlining the variable into the string to like a printf format, because this isn't really not that I've actually have a lot of experience in internationalization, but this isn't really amenable to internationalization where this is, where you could just rewrite, translate the string and then leave, because the name won't really translate because that came from the user anyway. This is user supplied information, but you could translate the string, and the %s here might end up somewhere else in the string. So regardless of what the string is, it would just format the variable name right into the string. So that's why a lot of these cases I was just being lazy when I rotated. Now I'm making it more of a printf function. Oops, what did I do? I feel like I deleted something I shouldn't. Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess these all just go to file. This is what, another error event? Except I don't have an error event yet. Actually, that's not a good one to pick. Oops, that should be 7. So this is going to cause errors now. So 8765432 1. Boy, I keep hitting the wrong numbers. So 3, 4, 5. Here we have 6. All right, so we should. That still failed. What failed in there? Did I pass it already? Oh, that's right. Oh, this is in. 870, I want to say. And this is in 883. Okay, well that knocks some of those down. Oh, just annoying changes here. That should take care of that one. Oops. What is... Okay, that one's closer. Oh yes, this one's gonna have... Alright, and then just this annoying thing. Actually, I think these are completely identical. Now it's just that it? Woohoo! Alright. Probably not worth it at all, but it's done. The time has been spent, the code has been typed. And I'm probably going to call that a stream. Let me just make sure that all passed. Because I do have some things I need to do. And so what had I started on earlier? I did not think that was going to take that long, to be honest with you, but that's how it is with programming. You never know if you're at the top of the water slide or the bottom of Mount Everest, and this is what I was really interested in here. So, I don't know. And it looks like we're probably in good shape. Oof, come on. You're killing me, Microsoft. I'm sure the problem here is all their servers are busy running tests on the new Windows patch update to make sure they don't push any bugs out to anybody. You're cutting into my daylight here, Microsoft. Ugh, alright, well. What is this doing? Alright, what I guess what I can do is just rebase this off of events. Okay, so that seems where was that? 563. Yeah, hopefully. Is that it? Oh, yeah, that's right. I gotta re-add that. But I didn't change anything? Oh, okay. I don't even know what I changed there. I guess that's what I changed. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. There it goes. So all of that 4-minute build so it could run a tenth of a second test suite. All right, so I think with that, I don't know. I guess I still want to think about if I actually want to make that change or not. But we're all set up. But I think I'm gonna call that a stream. I have some emails I need to do, and I need to go out and get ready for something a little bit later tonight. Um, so Kavende and other people in chat, thanks so much for joining me. Also, if there's any lurkers or if you're watching this on the VOD after the fact, again, thank you for joining me. And I'll probably be back tomorrow. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I may be doing an interview tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, until next time, then, whoever and wherever or whenever you are, I bid you peace and take care. See ya.